Hello and welcome back to the GG Bet Birmingham Invitational presented to you by Maincast. As always, I'm Kyle.
I'm Lizard.
Great job, buddy. We're going to come back to you with our second BO3 of the day. This is an elimination BO3 series between Black Hornets Gaming, full of a new bunch of pub stars from CIS, including Iceberg's twin brother, against the Swedish stack TFT. Both teams a disappointing result yesterday. What do they got to do to bounce back, Mr. Liz?
They have to win.
Excellent point, my friend. We're going to hop into the draft in just a bit, but still, I'd like to get a little bit more expert analysis from Lizard to my right. What do you think about the openers?
We're going to see, like, we have the Oracle plus Wraith King opener, not something that Black Hornets Gaming have opened with before. It was Gambit usually that played that Wraith King. However, it is a hero that's coming back into the meta, so it's understandable that we are seeing more teams pick him up. I wonder if they're going to leave him on that core position 1. I actually believe that Palantimos used to play a lot of Wraith King, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the core Wraith King right there. At the same time, Oracle, nothing really too surprising about that pick. Like, the hero is just way too strong, one of the highest win rate position 5s. And on the other hand, though, we have something that we've seen lose twice in a row now.
Indeed.
We see Vengeful, Duza, and Doom. Vengeful, obviously, such a good combination with Duza because of that amplified.
It feels like Dusa in this specific tournament just is a bit of a weaker pick because the teams are playing so aggressive. And Dusa just seems to lead to so much passivity.
I mean, it depends, right? Like, in one hand, you are right, but in the other, if that passiveness pays out, if it works, then that Duza pick usually wins.
It's true. I like the way the openers went as well, where Doom, as we saw yesterday, is an excellent counter to the Oracle because you can't cleanse it. You can't really do anything. So even if you're false promised, you're still dooming. You're still not in the fight.
Yep.
And the Wraith King as a counter pick to the Doom is obviously you don't give a damn if that first life disappears. You're going to come right back up.
Yeah, you can't really waste the Doom on the Wraith King. Bottom line is it's not the best way to do it.
Just so like I'm not crazy, right? I'm just trying to think real fast. Reincarnation is like a passive technically, but if you were broken, you'd still respawn, right?
You'd still respawn, I believe, yeah.
Okay, I feel like I'm sure about that.
No,
but
you
I'm
would 100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that we would know if it was the case. You would know that for sure.
Because I was like, what if you go Ags Doom and then just run at the Wraith King? What does he do then?
We have Earth Spirit, by the way, picked by Black Hornets Gaming as their third pick. Hero that fits their lineup with the color scheme, but besides that, I don't think like it. I think they're lacking damage. They have some stuns. They have some. Stuns. They have some initiation. Where's the raw damage coming from? Wraith King needs to get that Radiance very fast, I believe, if he's going to be that position 1, which most likely is going to be the case for them.
Yeah, they don't have a good support to send him off lane with. Definitely seems like it's more set up to be a safe lane Oracle Wraith King at the moment. TFT here, I imagine that'll be the Frost pick on the Medusa. They can run it middle, but typically TFT prefers this 4-1 style. Chessie really not that strong on hard carries. I think he's better at those, like the old school Sumail Abed picks, right? Like the Tinkers, Quaps, Pucks, and of course all the Han heroes. We've seen him play a lot of mid-tiny as well.
Much, yeah. The Juggernaut, however, makes us think that he's going to be one or the other, obviously. Not really a true playmaker, either one of these two heroes, right? Like you have the Jug and the Duza. The Jug is obviously going to be the one that does not go full greed. But I like this pick. If you remember in that last series versus Na'Vi, they banned out the Jug every single time Duza was in the game. And you're going to reach this peak in which you're going to have the Healing Ward, you're going to have Venge amplifying your damage. First and foremost, taking Rosh is a piece of cake for the final tribe. Also, these pushes, even though they don't really have like huge objective taking abilities, they can just right-click them at one point. So,
I think the Monkey King here is interesting, but it feels like it's a bit too much single target for the squad. And when you're playing against Venge, it's just so easy to be swapped out of your Wukong.
Yeah, that's true.
And that just seems to negate the hero's power just completely. And not to mention, if you look at the TFT lineup, they have no problem just running straight down at BHG. And how do you stop them?
The good thing about Monkey King, everything else you said right now still stays true. But the good thing about Monkey King in this game right here is that he can lane anywhere.
That's true.
And he can have a good lane. Possibly the worst lane for him, possibly the lane that can go worst for him is the Duza lane, even though even on that lane he can win it easily.
What about, do you think it's a 4 Doom though? Because otherwise, TFT would be last picking their 4th position. I think it might be more likely they're taking the offlaner here as their last selection, especially because, to your point, they don't have a good matchup against the monkey.
Yeah, they could definitely do that. You can adjust with the Final Tribe's last pick and put this Doom on 4 and just get something that's actually all right versus the monkey on the offlane.
Yeah. It's interesting ban of the Underlord. It's certainly something that could be picked here by BHT, but it's something they've run in the past, so Final Tribe definitely doing their research. As to be expected, their results haven't been the greatest, but the Final Tribe certainly, you know, full Swedish stack, have stuck together for quite some time. They made the one change.
After that major qualifier, it's really surprising that they aren't doing much better here. It's surprising.
Well, how though? If you think about the EU region, right? You got 3 spots for the major. No, I mean, Secret, Liquid, NIP, OG.
I mean in this particular tournament. That's all. I'm surprised that they're already in the lower bracket. I kind of expected them to be winning yesterday at least. All things said and considered, they ban out the Underlord, so most likely Black Hornets Gaming, they're picking their offlaner as last pick. Sometimes I've seen this Wraith King played as 3. There was like a period of time in which Wraith King was played constantly on that position 3. Like you'd have the offlane Wraith King plus Bramble Maze plus Dark Willow. It was like the go-to pick. However, the hero got changed a little bit, and I think he's much better on position 1. Perhaps that's the only place where you can roll him, even though Gambit played him as 4 a couple of times, even 5 on FNG. Actually, that makes a lot of sense why Gambit picked Wraith King. It only hit me right now. They picked Wraith King for these last couple of days because before, whenever they would play Wraith King, they would play him as support. So they switched it around and then started playing him as a core. They baited people into thinking that it's actually a support. So.
It's one of the things that I think is most important to a team that's trying to jump from like T2 to T1 is the comfort level for heroes that are strong in multi-role, multi-lane scenarios. Because usually you'll see, like you can game plan for teams when you know, like, okay, this Medusa mid is scary, but if we can give it such an unfavorable matchup, they make it play carry, it's going to be so much weaker. Same goes for heroes like Wraith King. If we think they're bad at core Wraith King and we give it a good game, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying. And you need to have that mastery, much like a Team Secret, right? Where they could open with Luna, with Monkey King, with Rubik, with Enigma, with all of these heroes, and it gives away absolutely nothing because they're just as good playing it on their 3, on their 4, as they are on their 1 or their 2.
I definitely agree with that. I think we've seen, especially in the CIS scene, that's been so important the last couple of patches, as we've went through patches in which Ursa was position 1, then position 4, then offlane, you know, then Windrunner. And now we actually do have our first Pango of the tournament picked.
That is, I think, a very necessary pick here. It is the anti-run-at-you hero. Because if you try to chase into a Pangolier that could just swashbuckle, pop ults, it's not possible. And
like this lineup of Black Hornets Gaming just looks fun. They want to play Dotes.
Exactly.
It looks so much fun. I don't see like a clear-cut strategy involved in this lineup, I have to say. Like it's like some 4 protect the Wraith King until he gets Radiance, then fight with him perhaps, I think. But at the same time, when you look at the Final Tribe, it's much more straightforward what they're doing. You have this Frost on Juggernaut. He's going to be protecting Chessie until Chessie gets his massive power spike with his items like Yasha, Dragonlance, few Raid Bands, whatever. You have this Tiny that's going to rotate across the map. You have the Doom. It's more clear-cut of a
it's an easier lineup to execute.
And easier lineup to know what they're going to do. Exactly, easier to execute. However, when you look at Black Hornets Gaming, it looks like a pub stack, you know. It looks like something you've drafted in a not necessarily bad.
You could still lose to it by you just get run over. They have so much space and mobility making. Like if Wraith King is farming and then there's a Pango and a Monkey King just flying through the map, like you could easily just chain feed. But if you look at the TFT lineup, you've got the Venge, you got the Doom, you got Medusa. You have so many. You can just play Dota. And eventually you'll probably outcarry.
I'm certain this is going to be a fun game, one way or another. Whichever way it goes, like it's on Black Hornets Gaming to make it fun, however. Like, they have to win their lanes. I believe if they struggle in the laning stage with versus the Duza and the Jug, they might just fall apart. And these heroes that usually can create space and run across the map, make stuff happen, aren't going to be able to do so. And then you're not doing anything versus a Duza. She's just going to farm up. The game is going to be a little bit boring for like 5 to 10 minutes. She's going to come out of the jungle and end the game with a healing ward. So
the only thing I will say, though, is we have another scenario where you look at the entire TFT lineup, and the thing I look at is that all 3 of these cores are goal dependent. Doom, Medusa, Jug,
Good point again.
they could very easily fall behind by a couple towers, and then all of a sudden there's a Monkey King with an Echo Saber that can just smash any core he walks himself into. Then you have heroes like Pango, where as soon as you're level 6 with Arcanes, you're a threat anywhere on the map.
You're
that could be a big problem.
Useful, yeah. Pango, however, is going to be played by Cheshire Cat on that position 3. I like it. I don't... Oh, look, we have some hearts on the map. Wow.
That's cute.
That's so cute. All right.
Gotta be careful here on both sides. Looks like a 4-man smoke will meet 3 heroes planted on the high ground. They do not want to fight this LOL question mark. Got to get the hell out of there. Man, that was a bit Era. Like,
Era had
Hanskin, somebody land that stun, man.
They had time. They definitely had time to stun him, to stop him from rolling out at least. But it seems like they are going to secure the top runes, perhaps.
Cool, though. I always like to see teams at least take the initiative, though. The level 1 smokes in Game 1 and Game 3 are often unexpected, and this could be bad for our boy Arcane. He's just dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone. Unless he has some Fairy Fire to work with. No, nothing like that. They get the first blood. Frost's going to take some damage, but he's super happy with this.
Oh, yeah.
Is this going to be an aggressive tri-lane, though?
Looks that it might be that way, indeed.
Yeah.
Doom also going to grab both runes bottom for free? What?
What, 4 bounties?
What?
What happened here? Hornets? You want to make it fun for all of us, not just for TFT.
Indeed. That's a dream come true for this.
A little bit of a battle block, I think, by Monkey. Is the tower going to hit? All right, so not perfect as the tower is hitting, I believe. Like, when you're in such a scenario, Chessy is still going to have a good time, right? Like, just farming on his side of the map. I actually love doing this on purpose versus Monkey when I'm playing with some melee heroes. And the odds, Black Hornet Gaming, like, they have a weirder draft and 2.23 for them. Understandable. Final Tribe favored on GG.bet.
Yeah, that probably kicked in before we just saw what happened on that 0-minute mark, so can expect those to change rapidly. We do have the aggro tri-lane as expected. I do think this is the right move here, especially when you consider that their supports are more roam and kill happy. They're going to have to force a TP down bottom, but Zibe would have been just fine. Hanskin, not sure if he really wanted to do this. The creep wave is under tower as well, so he was going to salve up and be just fine. Instead, he's just taking the Doom's experience.
Exactly. Don't you hate it?
I do hate it.
Don't you hate it? You know exactly what I'm saying, right? Like, when you're an offlaner, you just aggro just enough.
Oh, the toss back. Here it comes. Oh, nice play by Hanskin. He's going to get Archangel back under the tower.
Should be dead. He has Purge, but yeah, all right. You don't hate it any longer. Now it's all right. Now you're like, all right, Hanskin, you did steal some of my experience, but you're fine. You're golden, buddy.
Yeah, because it also then, now that they're 2 heroes here and they get the kill, plus the creep equilibrium is pushing in their favor, they're strong enough to just 2-on-3 and probably win the next couple of waves. They will force an Oracle TP back down bottom and up top. You just have a Pangolier who's going to be suffering against this Venge Jug double. However, at least he won't die so long as he saves that Swashbuckle.
Yeah, Swashbuckle, as long as he doesn't use it offensively to get a creep or 2, he should be fine here. At the same time, once they start pulling and messing with the equilibrium, it is going to become a little bit harder for him.
Yeah. Poor BHLOL. He's not going to die here, is he? Oh my, yeah, he is.
I mean, TFT, they're destroying them in this laning stage, actually, so far. 3 kills with the first blood, 2 on the Oracle, 1 on the Earth Spirit. Yep. These supports aren't finding space on the map.
Bottom lane, they are going to go for Zibe here, though. He's got a Devour charge ticking and that Wildkin for the +3 armor. He might be able to escape here, but they will have it.
Oh, the crit.
Never mind. He goes down in a flash. A 201 crit from Palamentino's .314. It's a much-needed infusion of gold into his pocket.
Yeah, they needed that. They needed a kill on the map anywhere, and getting it on that Doom was pretty good. This is the thing, though. Now they started pulling. Cheshire Cat has to be a little bit careful here how he plays around this. If he's a little bit too greedy with the Swashbuckle, he might pay the price.
His mid matchup is quite even. I do believe that it's more Monkey King favored.
It is, but if it's even like this, I believe that Monkey King doesn't really win it any longer.
It's the first 2 waves. Yeah, if you can crush those. But when the block was under his tower, and then the next wave, because it's now going to push under Medusa's tower, it usually ends up just being a split.
Whenever I'm forced to play melee hero versus Monkey King mid, the first thing that I do is I don't block. I just let the creeps go and hope for the best that he is blocking, because then I get the full wave under my tower. It's actually really good versus Monkey.
Yep. That's a good point. The one downside of the BHG lineup, though, is right now there's only one spot the Earth Spirit can make plays into, so he's sort of forced into a tri-lane, and it's just not where you want to play with this hero.
That's the downside of Pango, honestly. Like, if you aren't playing him on mid, if you're playing him on sidelines, you have very little kill potential for the first few levels with that hero. There are some heroes that you can pressure, some cores, but most of the time, even with the recent buffs to Pangolier and with the +4 damage, any given hero can just outzone you, out-CS you if given enough space, like for the first few waves. And this Venge, this era, he's relentless. He hasn't only given advantage to the Jug, he's not letting Cheshire Cat breathe on this side of the map whatsoever.
And it's just so tough to play the Pango, because if he ever uses Swashbuckle and then finds himself stunned, he'll just die to a Jug Spin on top of him. So it's... Oh, nice. Pikachu juked the first of the last snake with his turn into tree, and then Glyphs for the second. So we were just talking about how it becomes more Medusa favored, but he's utilized these weird mechanics to win these last two waves. Of course, the DD rune.
And when you look at it, he has 11 denies versus the 4 of Duza. He's doing quite fine here. Hasn't really suffered. I've seen so many times Duza gets a few raid bans and suddenly Monkey cannot really stand the pressure any longer. He just gets outzoned.
Yep. It's time. BHG doing a bit better. They will collect 2 out of the 4 bounty runes available.
They remember, there are bounty runes on the map, boys.
Yeah, they're doing all right, though. I mean, Pangolier up top, I've been saying how tough it is, but he's doing admirably. 20 CS to the Doom's 14. Keep in mind the Dooms also had 3 or 4 Devours by this point, so...
Yeah, so he's going to have a little bit better of a network, but still... Again, Pikachu
Nice job.
doing really well here so far. Now Chessie has to be careful. He has 3 stacks on him.
It's so important to juke it as well, because it means that Chessie won't get the mana back. And if you don't hit the snake on the hero in the laning phase, it costs a lot of mana, which directly affects your survivability. Bottom lane, Radiant Glyph, but oh my god. He has been obliterated. Hanska now going to come in. He'll get the toss back onto creeps. Palmatinos, unfortunately, he wasn't able to drop tower aggro that entire engagement. So thanks mostly to the Radiant Tier 1, he'll trade his life for that kill on Doom. Definitely not what he wanted.
And Hansken feels golden right now with that kill, because getting those early game kills on a hero such as Tiny is so crucial. Propels you faster towards that blink, towards the bottle. Makes your game so much easier.
It's so big for Zibe too. Oh, the tossback's coming in on the Minotaur. Will this be a kill? The stun will land on the Earth Spirit. Zibe's coming in for the smack as well. That will be a finish thanks to the Ursa Stomp that he ate earlier. And the key for Zibe here in this lane is, yeah, sure, he's died a couple times, but if you noticed, he picked up a Ring of Protection and that Chainmail. So all of a sudden, those crits, that massive physical damage he was taking earlier, that's gone. And
I mean, he had to. The amount of damage that Duza is taking right now is actually very significant.
Good snake, but...
Hansken is there with the double stun. Maybe they can turn this, actually. Pikachu is going to drop super low, and yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
What a great rotation by Hansken right there with the Arcane Rune even.
Yeah, I mean, last pick 4 position, you'd hope he'd do some work, and Hansken's certainly earning that right. Doing a great job, and they still have the Catapult alive at 7 minutes. Wow, that's a lengthy time to keep that creep alive. And Frost, meanwhile, just freely farming up top. 500 net worth ahead of the game. Has the Omni Slash ready. Got to be careful with your Cheshire Cat. Here come both supports once again, and this is why it's so dangerous to give away these early kills, because all of a sudden the Venge Tiny, weaker laners, but when they're both level 4, it's just kill after kill. And ooh, as I say that, did he do that in between ticks of the stun?
Yeah, this time he swashbuckles away. I'm not certain if he did it in between, but he has to be careful now, however. He's going to go for the catapult, I guess. No? Is he trying to kill him?
He's trying to do something.
Well, this is dangerous now. All
Okay.
right. He got the catapult.
That's well played.
He's still going to lose the tower, though, it seems. All right, with the Wraith King rotation, this is good. Finally, someone responds to this and comes to help him, because he has delayed them for such a long time.
Why, if that teleport, the thing... One thing I always tried to stress, whenever you're looking to rotate lanes, especially when it's your core swapping over, as Hanska now finds the kill on Pango, you wanted to make that play with the Pango ult and find kills here. Instead, because it's now 3 heroes still alive in full strength, you're going to rotate even more heroes.
And maybe
Will
they
Frost
get
survive?
He has Omni Slash afterwards, but
Oh, wow. He's in some big trouble. They're going to get the stun on Wraith King. He won't be able to do anything just yet, but one more hit, and yes, indeed, he will be taken out. Surprised he didn't look to go for the spin TP there. Probably felt like there would be too much physical damage thanks to the skeletons to be able to get out scot-free.
I love how they completely proved you, like, you weren't wrong. I completely understand what you were saying. Pango rolled in. As Pango is stunning, someone needs to port, right?
Yeah.
So they make that rotation plus get the kills, and like 2 heroes were on like 20% HP. However, somehow Black Hornets, they made it work.
But the
even
thing,
like this.
it's all about the little efficiencies, right? Because sure, they get the 2 kills, but they lost the Pango, and they lost what's effectively a hero or 2 worth of golden experience bottom, where Zibe was just free farming bot as the entire team rotated towards top. And those little inefficiencies add up, and they get the kill, but it's about the raw numbers that count. Cheshire Cat now finding Chessie. Might look to force the shine, but he'll probably just bait it out, indeed.
Yeah, there is a Monkey King jumping across the trees, however, getting a bit closer to the area. There's Earth Spirits too, so 3 of them around the shrine, however. Probably going to settle with the... Yeah, after he used the Boundless Strike, I think he's going to settle with the creeps.
Oh, wow.
However, he got hit.
Is he just going to die here? He's going to get doomed. Yeah, he looks... Yep, toss in. Well played by Hanskin. See, I'm telling you, it's crazy how in Dota, there's no such thing as originality for the most part, because once somebody proves that something's great, everyone else will start copying it. And the way Tiny's being played, this bottle, boots, windlace rush, it's all about the tosses in, tosses out, and makes the hero look like an insanely powerful 4 position. Rune spawning in 3 seconds. We're going to have a bit of a battle at this top one. Frost is going to be taking so much damage, though. He will get the rune. Shrine is active, but they should be able to just healing ward up, no problem.
I just want to commend Palantimos for the way he's been playing this Wraith King. He's been very active, and he's still on top of the net worth charts, so he's doing really well. At the same time, Monkey King has made a couple of bad rotations, let's say, and wasted a little bit of his time. But overall, the Wraith King is carrying the weight right now.
Could be a bit of a miscue here. TFT, they're rushing 2 drums, one on Doom, one on Jug. I'm fine with it for either hero, but often stacking can lead to some miscues and perhaps a lack of ability to scale forwards. However, you do have a Medusa. So
I don't hate 2 drums, but this early on and having it on your 2 cores instantly off of the laning stage, you could buy something else, something that's going to be more efficient, definitely. Another toss in perhaps now on Palantimos.
They do have a lane ward though, so they should have sniffed out this rotation. The Wraith King, Palamatinos, does have ultimate active as well, so you got to be careful if you're TFT.
It's 3 of them, however. Let's see.
Illusion's going in. Looks like they're going to try and just tank tower and go for the dive.
There's Oracle behind too. He doesn't have the ulti yet though. Okay, Pango preventive teleport right now. Yeah, they just don't want to lose him.
Yeah, it's a smart move by TFT, and it's frustrating to rotate all these heroes and not get something done, but with Earth Spirit level 6 and the defense obviously being mounted top, you don't want to force something that will likely just lead to a punish and you lose your entire advantage.
I like the Frost build as well, like the drums in this game.
Treads too.
Treads, drums.
Yeah, this is the old school, like, Puppy when he was on Na'Vi style of Juggernaut, if you remember, where it was all about sort of playing around your mid as the true 1 position. You go this Treads Drums build, all of a sudden your Jug's got 1500 HP, very strong even early on in the game, tons of stats, and you can play up-tempo around the Dusa instead of pretending like you're the one who's supposed to win the game for his squad.
Which is exactly what he has to do. Like when we were watching Na'Vi just a game ago, they went Midas on Nyx and they had a Dusa, and those 2 cores would never be online. They could never truly fight. However, here, Frost, like he can already fight. He's already able to join his teammates and help either when it comes to defending or pushing towers.
And you can look at this Palantino. So
he also went for Armlet. No, Midas, he's not going for Radiance.
He is so strong at this point. Look at him just smacking onto Zibe. The crit. Oh my god, with that armlet up, he is...
He can go for Radiance actually right now. I've seen many Wraith Kings actually do this build. You go for the armlet into Radiance.
Get the armlet off just in time. He'll be tossed back onto Zibe, but is that really where you want to be? Here comes Medusa with the ult pop, but along with that, LOL is rolling in.
Look at her.
Another roll from the Pango. Oh my god, Zibe, look at the armlet toggling from Palamatinos. He's still alive. Medusa ult has faded. You've got to be careful at this point. Hanskin's going to get the toss up in the air, but look at this Palamatinos. Oh, he didn't skill the ultimate in time. He has the point, but he didn't use it. Pikachu's going to pop the ultimate, but it's only level 1. He's got the Arcane Rune, sure. Jug can't really man up within that level 6 on the Oracle. He's going to move. Cheshire Cat going forwards onto Hanskin. He'll get the stun off in time, but no. That will most likely lead to his demise. Indeed, it does. Frost chasing forward. The stun goes down on Cheshire Cat. As you say, the Omni healing wards up as well. He'll get the swashbuckle, but Era with the swap back leads to that kill. Oracle does get the TP out in time, a 2-for-2 trade, but certainly could have been much worse there
could have been
for
much
either
worse.
side.
Yeah. I also think that could have been much worse for Black Hornets Gaming. Same for TFT. A little bit of a mistake there by Wraith King to not skill that ult. Perhaps he didn't even want to, but
man,
right? That was
he's
a mistake,
an armlet. If he respawns there, that is a completely different team fight. That was just a gross oversight, and really that should not be a 2-for-2. Duza had no ult, they had no Doom. I mean, that could have been a totally different engagement.
Yep, and the Monkey King was just coming in.
Yep.
If he had someone to contain them
the
in that
AoE
ulti,
slow, perhaps?
Yeah, very unfortunate for Black Hornets and Palantimos there, specifically because he's such a good Wraith King player, and he is going for that Radiance, by the way. So Armlet into Radiance. Armlet is alright, like it boosts your farm so hard when you're a Wraith King, and at the same time you can fight. You can fight all the time. Such a good item on him. So this is the old school build. Probably Armlet, Radiance Blink, and in a blink of an eye, Era is gone.
Looks like Palomatinos in trouble. He does skill the ultimate up this time. Pops all the skeletons as well. LOL, again, just like the last engagement, rolls in, kicks, but finds absolutely no targets. And
oh! Okay.
Absolutely nothing will come of this Pikachu.
He just fed his life. He just died.
Wait, what? What? What happened to Palomatinos? What?
He got hit by Avalanche.
And just was toggling?
No, he just didn't toggle at all. He was on like 1% HP, and Avalanche just got him.
Oh, Zibe.
At least they got the tiny, but that's a long cooldown to lose as a Wraith King. That's downtime for you right now.
That's worth when you consider that up top, Frost was just free farming. Chessie's clearing one side of the jungle. Frost pushed top all the way to the tier 2, grabs 2 runes, and runs immediately back to the enemy side. That gold lead just continuing to grow for TFT, as you can see already 6,000 gold at the advantage, only 15 minutes in, and they're the lineup with the Medusa.
Yeah, do you think, with only one tier 1 down right now, I have a feeling that Black Hornets are missing their timings a little bit. They still do have this item progression on Palantimos, that's gonna be alright, but versus a Duza, versus a Jug that's gonna have a Diffusal as well, you're gonna struggle super hard after they got these first few items.
And it just feels like the big tell of this game so far is the juxtaposition between the performances of the 4 position. Hanskin seems to be absolutely everywhere, finding kills willy-nilly, whereas LOL question mark on the Earth Spirit, just not much impact whatsoever.
I mean, besides the position 4s, you can see the midders as well. On one side, you have this Monkey King that's supposed to be hunting, that's supposed to be fighting, right? That's the way the hero works. It's a tempo controlling hero after the laning stage. He's nowhere. Same like Duza, but Duza should be hidden somewhere on her side of the map, farming safely. Monkey should be in your face, getting these kills time after time. He hasn't really had any success when it comes to that. And right now, TFT, it's their game too.
That's good. They don't feel pressured to do absolutely anything. They're 4 heroes bottom, Frost continuing to shove out top, and it's the luxury of playing with the Medusa lineup, because if they were to engage down here on bottom, Chessie will buy enough time for Frost to get in here. Here we go. LOL's going to roll in. Tons of damage coming out of the Medusa. They might actually stunlock him 100-0.
Oh,
so just as I say this, he gets stunlocked without a chance to even cast an ability. Hanskin on the side. He's probably going to go down as well. Indeed, he will be found with the roll. Cheshire Cat with the silence, the kickback.
Just as I said, also the Duza should be hidden somewhere, just farming. They make a team move around this bottom tier 1 without a Jug.
Where was the Venge, though?
Where was the Venge? Where was the Jug?
What? Couldn't you just swap him out there? Was he not there?
You could if you had Venge, but you don't have it.
They were 4 bottom, though. Why was there no immediate swap? Was it just too many units around? Tough to click?
Tough to click.
Must be.
Sounds like a bad excuse.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the right play there. If they land the swap, I mean, the entire initiation of BHG disappears. The only reason Dusa dies is because he's sitting in the Monkey King ult while getting mass stunned, yeah.
They're going to try to sneak this. They have the Wave of Terror. They have the Dusa coming back to life, running in here.
Yeah, the Healing Ward. And also, with no Monkey King ult, there's no real way to contest the pit. They don't have that big area control, whereas TFT, you've still got all your big spells up. Dusa ult, Omni,
I still
Doom.
think that if Black Hornets, you have Pango, man. Pango is one of the strongest heroes around the pit. If they were fast enough to get here, if they knew that this is happening, perhaps they could have contested it.
I don't know, man. It's just too tough. You got Venjora and Ursa Creep on Zibe along with the Vlads. Healing Ward up, so it's not as if TFT's weakening themselves by taking down the big boss. And an early Roche. 10-10, 4K gold lead for TFT. So they look to take a bit more map control.
if you are TFT right now, I don't think you have to use the Sages to go in like a full offensive movement. You can just farm with it, but something tells me that they're gonna do some attacks on these tier 2s very soon.
Yeah, I would agree. Hey, you have the Aegis.
Yeah, you have the Aegis, but you're not on a clock. That's what I mean. You're playing versus this team. You have a Duza. Eventually, when you get Skadi, you're gonna be such a hard target for these two cores, for the Wraith King and for the Monkey King. God forbid you get a BKB after that. Pango is gonna die to split shot alone. Overall, the only mistake from TFT that I have seen so far is that fight around the bottom tier 1 in which Venge wasn't there to swap the Duza out to help her. But the Wraith King on the Black Hornets Gaming is getting closer to that Radiance, I believe. So these next few fights are going to be a bit different. But how do you feel about the Monkey King, Wraith King composition? Like on TFT, you have this clear cut. You have the Jug that creates space, the tempo controller for the Duza, right? The one that can fight. On the other hand, you have the Wraith King and the Monkey. They kind of fill the similar role, the same thing, right? Unless you itemize Monkey with the Battle Fury or something and just farm.
Well, the thing about it is, though, that TFT have a very slow-moving roster just because that Medusa is what they're forced to play around. And when you consider the lineup of TFT, they could theoretically do exactly what they did bottom. But when Venge hits level 12 specifically, and that swap becomes even easier, like you can just swap Monkey King aggressively. It just feels like BHG is going to...
You can remove him from his ulti, right? You can do that as well. Just
the Hornets just have to play a better game. That's simple. Whereas, to your point, we've been saying it over and over, but the lineup for TFT just... Yeah, you could get a group of 4K players here. They'd know how to play this properly, and this is a pretty good start. Have your Tiny up top, shoving out that lane. Look to finish the Blink, although I actually know he does have that already. As your Jugdusa just pushed down mid. Who are you supposed to target? Pikachu down bot, he'll clear the wave.
Getting that diffusal, split pushing a little bit. Possibly gonna force someone back, but I mean, they'll be happy to run back down to send one hero to outpush, I believe.
Or will it? I mean, theoretically.
Or are they gonna force them?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it is the Vengeful going back.
A glyph used.
All right, interesting.
That is...
They want a death because Venge has shown herself, I believe. Did she, though?
That's a concern because now you know, as TFT, there's no glyph available, and you've got 4 minutes to play with the Sages.
Yeah, very interesting glyph. Actually, the Vengeful was hidden the whole time behind the trees, I believe, on the bottom lane.
I think that ward on the top shrine may have seen him port out, though, so they knew he was in the vicinity.
Yeah. But good play nonetheless, like porting Vengeful there. With the Wave of Terror, you could catch Monkey King, then swap him in. With an additional port, you could kill him.
Yeah, you can see the runes once again going to be a 2-for-2 split. Radiance will be completed on Wraith King. It looks like Juggernaut will soon have the Manta. Diffusal now up on Monkey. So, you know, Treasure Cat obviously with the Meg now, the Javelin, Maelstrom next. You're getting items on PH. You're becoming stronger, but it's still a concern about dealing with this Dusa Jug combination. They're both tanky in different ways. You got the Healing Ward and still that Venge behind them.
I believe as long as there's no BKB on Dusa, you have ways of taking these fights.
Yeah.
Like, it's possible as long as, let's say, Pango gets a good roll and you just go, everyone is on top of her. Perhaps you silence the Venge with the Earth Spirit. It's possible. It's hard. It's much harder than it is for TFT to execute these team fights.
Here we go, a double smoke. 5-man, 3-man.
We have a Radiance on Palantimos.
Indeed, it's a good timing to do so. They won't see the smokes.
They're gonna touch each other.
Unfortunate, and this could be so bad because if they try and wrap around on the Aegis Dusa, they'll find out that they're completely outmatched. And I love this smoke decision from TFT. When you're 3 showing 2, you look deceptively weak, but yet you can threaten base. And I like this move. I wouldn't mind if they just walked into the high ground mid. I don't like that they're trying to play enemy jungle. You're strong. Take this fight. Chessie should be moving down mid, but alas, Monkey King will be there to catch the wave.
I think they could go for high ground, but it isn't truly necessary. However, they do have that Tiny, and we've seen Valhor in that last game, right? With the constant blinks in, tosses a target out. I think they could do something similar. But they're just using the Aegis to take control of the map, farm a lot on this Dusa. I mean, they're not really in a rush.
No, I can see that. It just... We'll see. And unfortunately, Hans Era is not Wing or Wave of Tearing up that cliff. So they're just sitting on top of Dire Vision right now. That's become a far more common ward spot than in years previous. So I'd like to see him be aware of that fact. But that's what replay watching is for. And here we go, up top, Chessie. 1 minute left on Aegis. No Scotty just yet, but it'll pop the mana. The Healing Ward, they're going to go start beating onto this tower. Remember, no glyph available for Black Hornets Gaming.
They hit so hard, actually, already.
Yep.
There is a smoke coming.
Goes Pikachu. They see the Venge. You're way out of position, Air. You got to play topside, buddy. They're going to go straight for him. Oh,
Good
nice wave of terror. Pikachu's got to be careful. Ooh.
What looked like a bad positioning with that Wave of Terror, it makes more sense, looks really good. At the same time, they lose the tier 3, and now if they want to fight, they have to fight around that shrine, as most certainly TFT is going to go for it instantly after.
Yeah. It's crazy how that whole maneuver, that's only possible because of the wasted glyph on the tier 2. Otherwise, I don't think TFT have the confidence to press just quite so hard.
That's 2 smokes wasted by Black Hornets, by the way, in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to a scary point inside TFT. You're going to be finishing a Manta and a Scotty as both cores pick up their respective orb. Doom's going to have a BKB, and I just don't know how you do enough damage to kill these heroes unless you have some massive AoE combos landed. Again, still playing under that ward, unfortunately. Dire does have full vision of the entire TFT lineup standing on that high ground. They know Chessie's being baited. They want to try and pincer, find that backline support duo, and then utilize their AoE spells to lock down the Dusa.
Aegis is gone. They instant. They caught her.
No, they're going in right away, and Chessie's in so much trouble. Nice swap by Era. He's going to pop the Dusa ultimate as well. The ultimate goes down to the Oracle from the Omni Slash, but that's going to do absolutely nothing to anybody else.
They need to run. They need to run. Right now, they use the Omni Slash, the Dusa ult, but they're going to fight, it seems, as Dusa turns.
I was going to blink back again. We have a buyback on Venge as well. The Doom goes out onto the Pangolier, and now Frost just cleaning up. Chessie is still somehow full HP, but that's what happens when you're playing with a Vengeful Spear. They're going to get Palomatinos once. They're going to stun him again, get him twice, and in the meantime, Zibe does chase down the Doom Pangolier. So that's a 4 for none after the Era buyback.
You did use the Omni Slash, you did use the Dusa ult, but at the same time, on that cliff where Dusa was swapped out of, they used Monkey King ult, they used Pango ult. So no control whatsoever afterwards, and TFT is going straight high ground here. There are buybacks on everyone from Black Hornets, but are they going to use them or not? If they don't, they're losing a side.
Nice
there
toss
we go.
back. That's going to be a dead Pikachu. It looks like if they get the Venge done off. Oh, he does not quite juke the disable. That's going to be a dead Pikachu. Chessie now with the Scotty still continuing to chase forwards. The Ursa stop as well on the Cheshire Cat. He will most likely go down as well. Maybe. No, he'll survive.
He's fine.
Raindrak's going to be the target now by TFT. That's going to go down. Will they back? No spells up just yet. No Omni, nothing doing.
I'm just looking at Hanskin right now and what he's doing. If he's getting closer, they're going to go for a fight. If he's like moving away, the fight is over. He's their initiating tool. He's the one that's going to go in, toss someone like a monkey back.
This is a good decision, though. You have Wraith King respawning, and more importantly, Bounty Runes up in 20 seconds. So you've got this big lead. There's really nothing to be gained. Sure, it'd be nice to get that melee racks, but if you lose this fight and then Bounty Runes, you've allowed the enemy side to equalize. Far better to just, even if you trade 2 for 2 bounties like we can expect to see here.
It's questionable if they would have lost that fight, but this is definitely a more disciplined approach to the state of the game. And because Wraith King doesn't have ult, Monkey either didn't have it, so...
And to your point, it feels like right now, if all teams use their big team fight abilities, TFT are going to have a massive damage advantage. So, like we just saw in that original fight, if you can swap the Dusa out of the Monkey King Pango ult, there's really no way for TFT to lose a fight anymore.
As long as Era is...
Oh,
well, Era gets him. But however, Dusa ran away.
Yeah, that's because Tiny is actually TP'd back into the base. He was the one tasked, I guess, with defending bottom. Not quite sure why he's there, to be quite honest.
I think Black Hornets, if they want to win this game, they need to step it up when it comes to tempo. They need to go at TFT. Right now, this Vengeful is dead for 47 seconds. You have no time to farm. You need to be... You can't wait for your items. I'm sorry, but staying S4, S5 on your side of the map right now is very bad.
The problem is they don't have any smokes left. So
just run at them. You have a pub lineup. Just go. Pop your skeletons. Run at them. Pub lineup. Play like a pub. You like this isn't gonna win you the game. That's the problem.
I can agree with that. Especially with the Blade Mail purchase on Palomatinos, like it's not as if he's playing for the right now, not later. And I don't believe that as this game continues, you're really going to be able to outscale a Doom, Dusa, Jug, Venge lineup. Looking to push down mid-tower, but Venge will be respawning. Era's ready to rock and roll. BH Pikachu giving some vision.
This is a good position for Monkey as long as there's no Venge. Once she respawns, there's vision. With Wave of Terror, it can get a little bit scary for him to stay around the trees.
I was going to bring up, I like the Force Staff on Chessie. I thought that was the item he should be getting after the Scotty. Just in case Venge is CC'd, no matter what, really, you're playing against 4 enemy melee heroes. The Force on Deuce is just so solid here.
Yeah. Versus the Monkey. It's so good.
Yeah, more specifically.
And you can turn it into a pike later on, so it's not like you're wasting an item slot whatsoever. It's good on Duza.
I think they're just going to be playing around the Roche. It'll be respawning in 50 seconds. And TFT can get ready to rock and roll inside that pit. They're going to run towards mid lane. Hanskin, got to be careful. Anytime he gets too close to a dire hero, he's always susceptible to toss your ass back into a certain demise. Top lane, Cheshire Cat continuing to pressure. He's going to go in for that Blink Dagger next. I think that's necessary because, to your point, they really are lacking a bit of initiation. You want them to go get dirty, but they have no Blink Daggers on any of their cores.
I expected Wraith King to be getting it after the Radiance Armlet. He didn't. He went for Blade Mail first. And now he has it. So they have a couple of blinks. And they have that Third Spirit to follow up. So they have ways of initiating, but it's getting harder and harder to do so because some of these heroes, they have BKBs too, like that Doom. He's going to pop that BKB and initiate on someone for sure if you go on him.
It's a really tough spot. I hate playing games where, you know, it's 28 minutes now, and finally it feels like BH, you know, they're still out of this game by any means, but they're finally in a position where it's like, hey, we can make some moves. We don't need a smoke. We can punish somebody for being out of position without needing to fully commit all these big ultimates. And
it's problematic when you draft and then you don't itemize accordingly to your draft. You itemize more, let's say they itemized in a way that's more acceptable right now in the meta, more casual. They bought the items that everyone is buying. They didn't adapt to the state of the game. That's how I feel, at least.
That's a good point. And just look at the damage up. But the Wolf creep eaten by Zippe. I love the aura stacking. Doom is so underrated in that regard because by just eating the Wolf, you give your entire team another Venge aura. I mean, so now with the Vlads, with the Venge, like 75% damage increase for this Medusa.
He's definitely the best utility hero you can get, right? You have the Devour, plus you always have enough gold to buy aura items, to get Vlads, to get AC later on, Shivas, whatever.
He's catching up to the Monkey King in net worth solely really due to the Devour gold stacking up. 30-minute mark approaching rapidly. We've got Aegis and Cheese up on the side of TFT. And as in typical Radiant fashion, you clear out the top objectives, you get Roche, and now you can finally move towards bottom and take that last remaining tier 2, perhaps even looking to push high ground.
Oh.
You go right
this is
in.
A good
This is the perfect target.
Yeah.
Venge already dead. There's an active Shrine. And look at Zippe, even with that 13 armor, he's getting shredded by Palamentinos. Now Cheshire Cat rolling forwards. We'll probably be able to find Hanskin here. Indeed. So many stuns coming out. He will die for sure.
What was that song yesterday? Don't go.
Don't walk up the high ground with no vision.
Yeah, that's it.
It's surely not the play for you or I. I really should add more lines to this song because there's so many maneuvers that at this point after casting for like a year or two, I'm realizing, oh my God, this really does happen all the time, doesn't it?
You could improve it a bit. There are many ways you can actually add new lines. However, that move right there from TFT is the only way that I feel Black Hornets can take control of the game. Like moving uphill like that with
That's their strength. Yeah, run into a choke point, please. By all means, we'll accept this.
And most importantly, Wraith King was there just spreading his arms, like embracing them onto the high ground. This time around, it's Chessie that's
this
front.
is more like it. You've got the Aegis, the Hurricane Pike finished. Just hit the tower from max range, move on to the Raxes. Venge be ready to swap. I just feel like TFT is playing a bit too finicky and passive for my taste. They're not playing with the confidence you would expect when you consider the advantage they have both financially and strategically. Like, they've got Aegis by all means.
There's
just start hitting this.
There's a smoke from Black Hornets there wrapping around.
They got to find the Venge.
With the roll.
He's going to blink forwards. He's got the Greaves off. Two-man stun onto the Doom and the Tiny. Palamentinos going in, but Chessie already popping the ultimate. Palamentinos now in some trouble. Jesus.
Pango just dies.
Oh, what a tree cut. I believe that was Zippe. Could have been Frost. That's game.
Yeah, that's game. That's just GG right there. That's
what I meant, though. I mean,
it's such a hard lineup to execute, man. Like, you have this Pango. Eventually, this Duza just sits there and hits him with split shot, and he dies. He just died to split shot Duza, nothing more. He got frozen mid-roll and just evaporated.
Yeah, and from our perspective as viewers, you know, maybe we would like to see a TFT play with a little more tempo, but at the same time, they know we have a critical advantage. Medusa's approaching level 20. They get the second Roche. There's no need to do anything crazy. Yeah. They just get their objectives, and when a fight at the end of the game goes that easy for you, you know you played something properly.
Yeah, almost every single aspect of that game for them was covered. For Black Hornets Gaming, instead, it was just I don't know. It was so hard. It felt like a pub game. It felt like they had to do so many good moves, plus TFT had to fail a couple for them to win it. And eventually, that lineup just falls to Duza. You have two melee cores, you have the Monkey King, you have the Wraith King versus Vengeful Duza. It's just way too hard to play.
Yep, it's a good point. I mean, for the first time today, we do see the Venge Dusa actually win a game. The first, of course, going to the Swedish side of the final try, but it is a 3-game series, and after a quick break, we'll be back with Game 2.